There was a young man at the tender age of 10 who was taking his first airplane ride alone. So naturally, his mother follows him every step of the way to the boarding gate. Now, as he gets close to the boarding gate, his mom gives him the biggest hug, almost suffocating him. Now, as he gets onto the plane, he follows the stewardess and takes his seat. But within just a matter of an hour, the pilot gives a call. He says, "Please return to your seats immediately. We will be experiencing some rough air." Now, as the boy buckles his seatbelt, he looks next to the man sitting next to him, and he noticed the man is gripping tightly to his seat, holding firm with a frantic, panicking look. But the boy has not a sight or hint of nervousness. Now, when the pilot finally gives the clear for everyone to be able to be safe, the man next to the boy asked him, he said, "Were you not scared? Were you not nervous?" Well, the boy eagerly looks up to the man and says, "No." You see, it's evident that this little boy had confidence in something. Is that not true? And then the discussion, we're going to discuss a lot about confidence. Well, really, to understand what confidence is, we need to define it completely. One definition of confidence could be freedom from doubt, the feeling of disbelief that someone, the feeling of belief that someone can rely fully on someone or something. Notice one definition, firm trust. Now, you may be wondering with this boy in the illustration, he obviously had confidence in something. Well, notice what he replied to the man sitting next to him. He said, "You see that man sitting up there flying the plane? That's my father. That's my daddy." So this child had confidence in something that was solid, something that was real, something that was secure. Unfortunately, unlike the nations ahead of us and the nations in the past, they put their faith, their trust in their own wisdom, their own abilities to protect themselves. Let's read about an example of this in Bible history, if you would. Follow along with me as we go to Isaiah, the 28th chapter, and we're going to look at verse 14 and 15. Now, we're going to do a comparison of what the nations do as far as their misplaced confidence. That's Isaiah, the 20th chapter, verse 14 and 15, and this is referring to the nation of Judah. Let's see how they felt. Here it reads, "So hear the word of Jehovah, you boasters, you rulers of this people in Jerusalem. For you men say, we have made a covenant with death, and with the grave we have made an agreement. When the raging flash flood passes through, it will not reach us, for we have made a lie our refuge, and we have hidden ourselves in falsehood." You see, in context here, Judah's rulers, or their leaders, they had made political alliances with the surrounding nations in order to protect themselves from harm or danger, any defeat. See, their leaders thought that they would have an agreement, as it were, with death and Sheol to protect themselves. But did Judah's covenant with death and Sheol, did that mean that they had repented of their sins? That they had trusted in Jehovah for protection and salvation? Sadly, no. See, they turned to political efforts for help. Now, friends, how silly would it be for an individual during the nature of a tornado to run into a run-down apartment building? Well, it wouldn't be smart, would it? Well, see, similarly, such reliance that Judah's leaders had on the political alliances, it was really a delusion. It was a lie. See, as they abandoned Jehovah, well, Jehovah in turn eventually abandoned them. And similarly today, Christendom's close relationship with the leaders of this world, it will not protect her when Jehovah's time for accounting comes. And today, sadly, we witness the results of the nation's misplaced confidence, don't we? We see an increase of crime, violence, persecution, and just attacks from, even by means of cars running into crowds. It's a sad situation. But during the discussion of this talk, we're going to answer three questions that can analyze whether you and I have made the right choice of where our confidence is. The three questions we're going to discuss is, where is our confidence? Secondly, how can we increase our confidence? And thirdly, how to maintain it. So starting with the first question, where is our confidence? Well, how can we answer this? Well, this question really is designed to have a close examination of how we're living our lives. One way we can show where our confidence is by remaining united as Jehovah's true worshipers. And we know the world, they show a spirit of disunity, and that separation by prejudice, by class defiances, as far as social levels of education, the separation, right? But what does Psalms 133:1 bring out the spirit that we should have as true worshipers? We should dwell together in unity. You know, another sign of those showing confidence in Jehovah is by what they would be doing with their time and energy. If you would, follow me in your copy of the Bible to Matthew, or your tablet, Matthew the 24th chapter, and we're going to look at verse 14. We're going to see one of the things that those having confidence in Jehovah would be involved in this time of the year. It's Matthew the 24th chapter, verse 14. And here it reads, "And this good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth for a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come." See, our confidence in future blessings of God's kingdom would instill in us a desire, a strong desire, to do as much as we can in telling others about the good news of the kingdom. Really, our increased joy for what we have to look forward to, that's going to bring a stronger conviction in our hope. When we have a stronger conviction in our hope, we want to share that with others, don't we? Now, we could ask ourselves then, how important is the ministry in my life? Well, amongst our crowd here in the University Park congregation, I've noticed that we have a wonderful array of what the Bible calls a great crown of beauty, in the sense of older ones faithfully serving Jehovah and enduring faithfully in the preaching work. It really reminds me of one illustration or experience I would like to relate with you. It's from the 2012 yearbook. One sister who had a desire but didn't have the best circumstances, all related to. Her name was Jeanette, and she lives in the rural mountains of Burundi, and she's always had the desire to pioneer. But she suffers from a chronic heart condition. Now, this prevents her from walking or climbing up steep hills. But Jeanette, she rejoiced when she heard that the hour requirement for a specific month for auxiliary pioneers was going to be reduced. So what did she do? Well, in order to, or what was done for her, to help her carry out her desire to pioneer, the elders, they arranged for her to preach in territory that was close to her home. The friends, what they did was the publishers and pioneers brought their Bible students to her home for Bible study. Now, by the end of the month, Jeanette was delighted to have started 4 Bible studies. Notice what her expressions were. She said, "I would love to pioneer again, and I am confident that Jehovah will help me." See, that's the expression of many of our dear friends right in our audience right now. They're showing by their example in the preaching work, they're confident in Jehovah. You see, another identifying mark includes, too, having confidence in Jehovah is our attitude, our demeanor. 1 Timothy 4:11 brings out that Jehovah is a happy God. So wouldn't it be evident that his people would also be happy? Now, this doesn't mean that we're oblivious to the fact of things going on around us. We're not shielded from the pressures, the stresses of the system. But what makes us happy? We realize that they're temporary. We focus our attention on the forthcoming blessings of God's kingdom. Now, another profound way in which we can show whether our confidence is through making decisions, how we conduct ourselves in our everyday life. Now, are we quick to allow the world's attitude to shape our attitude? Let's read a scripture, if you don't mind. It's Proverbs the 3rd chapter, verse 5 and 6. And let's see how we can analyze what can help us to make sure we're confident in Jehovah ruling.